Morning guys, Mr. B here. It is Tuesday the 23rd of February. Hope you're all okay and you had a great Monday, a great start to the week. I'm taking you through your maths lesson today. Before I start, what I want to do is work on something called your working memory. This just helps us build our memory. Our memory is really important. It helps us learn things and helps us to retain it, to keep it in our heads. Okay, so I've got a game that is one of my favorites. Uno. All right, you may have played it before. We're not going to play the actual game, but it's a good set of cards for you to build your memory and to work on your memory. So I'm going to ask you to remember the number of the card, what color it is, and then be able to say it back in the right order. You are not allowed to write it down, so no cheating. So first card, do not shout it out. You just need to remember it. Okay. See if you can pause the video now. If you're in class, you can have a quick discussion. You can then remember the colors and the numbers in the correct order. If you're at home, pause the video, just have a quick think. Can you say it back to yourself? Pause the video. All right, okay, let's go back through, see who got the right order, and then we'll talk about perhaps some quick strategies or a strategy for it. So the first card was green 8, blue 2, yellow 3, green 3, a red 7, and a blue 0. Now, a good way to remember that. Now, I'm quite good at remembering colours. I'm rubbish at remembering numbers. So I remember it, okay, by doing like a telephone number. So I group the numbers together. So I said that was 82, 33, 70. And instead of having to remember 6 numbers, I remembered 3 numbers. All right, and I can remember the colors because the colors are colors. You might have your own strategy, but it's always good to work on something on a way that you find things easier to remember. Okay, so we're going to look at strategies for remembering stuff. Okay, that was just one game for you. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you please get your date and Walt in your books? Do that now for me. So it's the 23rd of February. 2021, and our Walt today, and I'll explain to you as we're going through this, is to multiply 1-digit numbers by multiples of 10 using our place value knowledge. Our place value we've done all throughout this year, and we're going to build on that today. So pause the video and get that in your books now. Okay, when you have done that, hopefully you've done that by now, you can put everything down and we're just going to have some discussion and some looking at the screen for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to get you working. So this down below was our learning from yesterday. So yesterday we were just doing multiples of 10. All right, so for example, this one, we had 23 multiplied by 10. We looked at it yesterday on our place value grid. We moved everything to the left. We multiplied everything by 10. So it wasn't, so 23, 2 10s, we multiplied those 2 10s by 10, and that got us to 200, all right? Then we had the 3, okay? We moved that to the left, so we multiplied 3 by 10, which gave us 30, okay? So your answer was 230. Those of you that were really quick with it just said, well, actually, if I'm multiplying by 10, I just need to add a 0 on the end. What about this one underneath? 10 times 23. Hopefully, you're suggesting that you can do multiplication in any order and it will give you the same answer. All right, so 23 10s, this first question, would be the same as 10 23s. All right, so it's any order. What about this one from yesterday? You have a go this time. 47 multiplied by 10. Would it be A, 407, B, 470, or C, 4,710? Okay, straight away, it's not that because we aren't even looking at 4-digit numbers. Okay, if everything moves to the left in our place value headings, then 47 becomes 470. Okay, so that was yesterday's learning. Let's move on today. Please put everything down and let's just concentrate for the first one. Then I will give you an opportunity to have a go at it yourselves. So a little bit trickier today, so you're gonna have to really stick with it. So 3 times 60, 3 multiplied by 60, 3 repetitions of 60. All right, so here's my place value grid, and on my place value grid I have got 60. Now if I was to do 3 times 60, this would be almost like the clunky way, the year 1, year 2 way of doing it. Okay, I would do oh, there's 60, here's another 60, okay, and here's another 60. So that's 3 groups of 60. I'm just going to move that down a little bit. Oh no, I'm not. Let's see if I can, sorry guys, just grab that again and move those down a bit so we can see them. All right, there we go. So I've got 3 groups of 60. Now, obviously, I can't have that many in my tens column. I can only have 10 in there. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I need to, well, when I get to 10, that's 100, isn't it? So if I move these all over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look how long this is taking me. 7, 8, oh wow, 9. Okay, 9 tens, 10 tens. Yay, finally. Now we know that 10 tens equals 100. So I've got 100 there. All right, and then down here I'm left with 8 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my answer, okay, that's taken me quite a long time, is 180. Now, let's try and work out a way of doing that a lot more quickly. So, what I'm suggesting we do today, sorry guys, the sun has just decided to shine. What I suggest we do today is almost partition it. Okay, we don't need to know what 60 add 60 add 60 is. All we need to know is this, and I'm just going to cross it out with my red pen. As long as I'm going to get rid of that 0. Okay, I'm going to cross it out. And I'm going to make it instead 3 times 6. 3 times 6. What is 3 times 6? Well, Mr. Bumble, that's 18. Okay, now if you know that 3 times 6 is 18, you are then, I'm just going to get rid of that completely, able to then multiply it by its 10. Okay, so 18 then multiplied by 10. So we're going back to yesterday's learning. All right, so Colin down here has suggested when I multiply by 60, which is what we've done here, look, it is the same as multiplying by 6 and then by 10. So we're going to go through that again. So instead of trying to do 3 times 60, I can first of all do 3 times 6, which then gives me 18. And then I can do 18 multiplied by 10. And if you go back to yesterday's learning where everything moves over in our place value grid, you will get this. All right, I'm just going to run through the next one with you as another example. So Colin has suggested when I multiply by 70 this time, so we're doing 3 groups of 70, all right, it is the same as multiplying by 7 and then by 10. So what I think Colin is trying to say there to us is this. Instead of doing 3 times 70, I'm going to do 3 times 7. Now, if you're not sure about your times tables, your 3s or your 7s, okay, you can pause the video now and work it out. It's just 7, add 7, add 7. All right, so what is 7, add 7, add 7? Well, actually, Mr. Bumwell, 7, 14, 21. All right, so I know that 3 times 7 is 21. Now, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that into my place value grid, 21, because this gets us back to yesterday's learning. Okay, now I've done 3 times 7. Now I need to multiply it because it's not 7, it's actually 70. So I'm now doing 21. I'm going to do it in a different color. 21 multiply multiplying by 10. All right, so 21 multiplied by 10 would give us what? Well, let's do it. Let's do what we did yesterday. Let's pick up our 10s. We're timesing both of those by 10. This by 10. I can hear Mrs. Lewis giving out lots of monster points, which is great. All right, so that makes it then 200s. And my answer would be 210. All right, 21 times 10, 210. All right, so we multiply it. We can ignore the 0 and almost add it back on at the end. All right, let's have a go. You have a go at doing the next one. All right, so what would I have to do first? All right, I've got 3 times 90. Colin is saying, when I multiply by 90, it is the same as doing 3 times 9 and then multiplying it by 10. So you have a go at first, pause the video, do it on a scrap piece of paper, on a whiteboard if you've got one, and have a go first and just see how you get on. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, let's go through this one then. So we had 3 times 90. So let's start with saying, well, look, we don't need to do 3 times 90. Let's start with doing 3 multiplied by 9, all right, or 3 groups of 9. So what is 9, add 9, add 9? Pause the video if you need to work it out. If you do know it, all right, you will know that it is 27. A good way of doing it is doing 3 10s and then take away a 3. Okay, so 27. Now I can put that 27 into my place value grid before I multiply. You might be able to multiply it by 10. Well, you probably will be able to multiply it by 10 straight away. All right, so 27, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I've got 27 now. So I've done 3 times 9. It's not 3 times 9, it's 3 times 90. So I now need to multiply my answer by 10. So I've got 27, and if I multiply 27, sorry guys, I'm not putting one number in one box, I'm running out of space. I'm sure you will be able to do that. 27 by 10. All right, so all of my counters, my place value counters would be picked up, moved over. All right, so the 10s become hundreds, the 1s become 10s because we're multiplying them everything by 10, all right, which would give you the answer 270. And actually, all you need to know is your 9 or your 3 times table. If you know them, okay, then you can solve this really easily. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Whoops. Right, you do this one by yourselves. All right, 60 times 4 or 4 times 60. Do you need to know that? Pause the video now. All right, cool. Let's have a look at it then. So let's do Colin's method. All right, so instead of trying to do 4 60s, what could we do? Well, I know we could do 4 times 6. So why don't we try that? What is 4 times 6? So 6, add 6, add 6, add 6. Okay, that would mean that we get to 24. And if I was on 24 and I needed then to find out, well, actually, I'm not doing times 6, I'm doing it by 60. I need to multiply everything again by 10. All right, so then I'd have 24 multiplied by 10. Okay, and quite rightly, you'd be correct in saying, well, that, Mr. Banwell, is 240. Okay, so that is how I got to my answer. All right, and actually, I'm starting to using my mental methods rather than having to use my place value grid. If you do need to use place value grid, that's absolutely fine. If you need to use a number line or something to help you work out what 4 6s are, that's absolutely fine, as long as you get there one way or another. Okay, this one's a little bit more tricky. This is the twist it. Now, we know the answer is 120. So I'm going to make this a little bit easier. Pause the video if you'd like to have a go at this yourselves now. All right, and then I'll give you a helpful hint. So pause the video. All right, If you need a little bit of extra help, what I'm going to do, cross off that. Imagine the answer is 12. What could these numbers be? How could we get to 12? Oh, I know. We could do, I know that 2 6s, for example. 2 times 6 makes 12. Now, I need to make this 120 again. So what could I do to one of these numbers to make that? So I'm going to actually add my 0 back in. Okay, and then all of a sudden, I've got 2 times 60 equals 120. Fantastic. Challenge, and I'll give a monster point out for anyone that gets this, okay? Is there another way of doing this? Pause the video now and have a go. All right, let's go back to, let's find that other way of doing it. So we know 120, all right? We could get rid of the 0, all right? I'm going to do it underneath here, all right? To make 12. How can I, what's another way of making 12? Let's have a think. Well, I know actually that I could do in the 4 times tables, 12 is a multiple of 4. So I could say, well, actually, 3 groups of 4, well, that equals 12, Mr. B. Okay, absolutely correct. 3 4s. Yeah, we all agree. Okay, now, how do I make that equal 120 though? Because that's actually what the answer is. So I need to make that equal 120. So I'm just going to write my blue pen back in. 120 I need to get it to. So I need to multiply one of these by 10. It doesn't actually matter which one you do, all right? But I'm going to do 3 times 40 will equal my 120. All righty. In your books, I'd like you to have a go at doing this, okay? Remember our rule from today. You can almost so take it right back, okay? So for the first one, for example, what are we going to do? Let's use Colin's rule. When I multiply by 40 in this occasion, it is the same as multiplying by 4 and then multiply it by 10. So to start with, your first sum, this is how I would like you to do it in your books, is write out the question, then underneath, all right? So for example, I'm just going to move my friend Colin down. All right, so underneath you could do this, and this is how I'd like you to present it in your books. So write out the question, 4 multiplied by 40. So we know that actually we're not going to try and do 4 multiplied by 40. All right, let's multiply it by 4 to start with. So let's make it easier for ourselves. 4 4s. What are 4 4s? Yes, you're all saying 16. Okay, I'm going to help you with the first one. And now, what do I need to do now? Because we're not actually doing 4 times 4, are we? We're doing 4 times 40. So I need to multiply that then by 10. All right, so I'm going to do then 16 multiplied by 10, okay, because it's 4 10s. All right, 40. And that will give me my answer, 160. So it's another form of partitioning, really. And that's how we're doing it. So what I want you to do, have a go at that. If you need some more practice, so there's 4 there. If you need some more practice, you can go to this screen here, and this is on the attached document back on the class story. So if you need to go back and get this is fine. Or you can pause it and have another go at another 4 do it questions, all right? And then once you've done that, you can move on to the go deep and go deeper. But I am going to go back because this one is a common misconception. A misconception is something that lots of people get wrong. So teaching this before has told us that actually this is a common mistake that people make. So Colin thinks that 4 multiplied by 40 is 1,600. What has he done wrong here? We've just actually done this. We've done this one on the last slide. So we know that actually that 4 multiplied 40 gives us 160. So we know that is totally incorrect. Can anyone work out what you think he's done wrong? Pause the video and a little discussion for you. Okay, yeah, I think this was quite an obvious one. He seems to have, for some reason, added an extra 0 on the end. Remember, on this occasion, we're only making 3-digit numbers. All right, so just be very careful. When you're working out, if you're multiplying by 10, that you're only adding 1 0 on the end. Okay, so let's go back. They are the do it questions. Have a go at those first. All right, once you've done that, please use this format to present your work. I should be able to see, for each of these, I should be able to see the question and then underneath how you've partitioned it to get to the right answer. All right, if you need a bit more practice, that's great. Or if you're enjoying doing it, if you're feeling confident, then definitely have a go at the do-its, these 4 do-its. Okay, so you can pause the video here if you need to. And then finally, I'd love you to get on to the go deeper. Please make sure you're sharing your reasoning. It's really important. I often tell my class in Painswick, maths actually is how you can explain your understanding. So again, try and use some of the learning we've had today to explain your answers. The go deeper is one to really think about. And if you're answering that, can you please come up with an example? Okay, good luck. And I will looking forward to seeing some of your work later.